Right, you can also kind of see yourselves on the screen. Say hello to yourselves.
I can't see myself. I've not got my glasses on, that's what it is.
Please put your glasses on.
You don't need your glasses, you're fucking Captain Avenger, mate.
Captain Avenger.
We cheers to that.
Put your glasses on over the top.
I don't wear glasses,
Please,
I'm Jamie
please,
Hazel.
please put them over the top.
Jamie.
No,
No, but yeah.
This is what Captain America look like.
Mate, it's like a cross between Professor Hulk and Captain America.
Captain Avenger. You know when people dress up as the Avengers and go and visit really ill people. If Liam turns up.
Is that what you were going to say? That's not off the limits in this podcast,
Is
don't
it
worry.
not? Is it really?
You really look like you've escaped from a mental asylum.
It's the First Reaction Podcast. First Reaction Podcast.
That's the intro.
So welcome to the Avengers Endgame drunk /
First Reactions Podcast.
First Reaction Podcast. Thank you for finishing.
Officially 5 stars.
Officially 5 stars, that's our tagline. Can we cheers to that? Can we cheers to that? Can I get a cheers? So,
We've started.
can I get a cheers?
Cheers.
That was awful.
Captain America was communicating with me. Let's give him
Captain
full attention.
Avengers? I didn't want to cheat you. So, we are joined by James, Liam.
Jamie Hazelby.
It's unedited, that's staying in. And Ellie! Yay! Okay,
So
I might add round
we've
of
just got
applause.
back from the cinema, as context, from Endgame,
as
as
context.
a person.
Oh, I thought you were going to... We just got back from Endgame as
That
context.
was your cue.
Now I'm going to drink.
That was your
So parched after that
So
long
niche.
monologue.
Yeah, I know. He really needed a break there, didn't he? So completely unedited, just us being idiots. You'll probably hear a lot of Liam talking to himself in the background, which won't be annoying at all. So I thought, first of all, we could just give our general opinions on the film, and then just see where conversation goes, and then end with your idea, because it's quite a good idea.
Oh, the one word.
The one word thing.
Okay.
But we'll start with...
I think you should start.
We'll start with, I pointed at James for the audio people, and he goes, either you should start. Okay, well, I thought it was a really, really good film. I didn't cry, which I was expecting to cry. I fully expected to cry and didn't cry at all.
I looked over a few times at you because I thought you were going to...
You thought you'd see, like, tears streaming down my face or something. But there was multiple times, I was sat next to Ellie, and I think you can vouch, there was multiple times where I was like...
Really? I was like, what?
I was like, oh my god, this is so... Like, obviously, full spoilers, don't listen to this or watch this if you've not seen the film. What are you doing with your life?
It's only been out like 2 days.
So why are they watching this video?
It's true.
It is.
There.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do the spoiler warning.
That's what I'm doing.
Nice.
I was in the middle of giving a spoiler warning. You're like, oh yeah, spoiler warning.
Good work, good work.
So...
Liam's just sat on his phone.
Which, for the audio podcast, Liam's sat on his phone.
Right.
He's updating his Tinder profile. Also, for the audio people, he's wearing a Captain America helmet with glasses on. So, if you want to see that, check out the YouTube version. Okay, yeah, I thought it was a really good film. Mate, we're not going to be able to get very far in this podcast. I thought it was a really, really good film. I thought there were points where there was definite plot holes, but overall, it was a really good film. Will, come on. Concentrate, you chunk boy. So what did you think?
I thought, overall, it was a very good film, and I'd like to watch it again, and
Same.
I don't think anyone would be on the fence about watching it because it's been hyped up to shit. So, but watch it. But because it's been hyped up so much, I can't help but be a little bit disappointed. To be truthful.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think we'll get into specifics, but there was points where I was like, right then, I swear they were going to literally avoid this happening, and it kind of happened. We'll get into specifics later, though. So, James, what did you think?
I agree. I thought it was a fantastic film. but the same as well. There were parts that I absolutely adored, and there were parts that were just like, come on, no, just you shouldn't do that.
Okay.
But
Like
overall,
incest.
I like the
We'll
incest.
get
Don't
that
go
later.
around the topic.
Yes,
Like,
definitely.
maybe.
So if you had to give
Can
it
we
a
push the incest to the end to encourage viewers to watch time? Stay tuned.
yeah. So
Those
if you
the viewers you have, the ones that are waiting for the incest part of the podcast.
if you're here for the incest, keep watching, guys. It's coming. Don't worry. Hopefully, Captain America's not. Okay, Liam, what did you think of it?
Liam.
So I thought it was obviously really good, like the rest of us. One of the big issues I did have with it though,
Oof.
and this is one of the things I have with a lot of Marvel movies, is that it doesn't always do the best job of deciding when it wants to be serious and when it wants to be funny.
Agreed.
I think
Fair.
that
Like
is
Captain
the first.
Marvel.
That's the first actual
pretty
like
good answer,
criticism.
Yeah.
That's a legit review kind of sentence, and he's got a fucking Captain America hat on with glasses over the top. The most like not creative, the most eloquent fucking the person that can speak shit.
You can come on again.
Yes. You well. Hopefully you'll be on for the Game of Thrones podcast because you're into Game of Thrones as well.
You
Aren't you?
can, you can Skype me in.
We'll give him a call.
first time.
Well, that should be a segment. We
Call Liam.
Skype Liam in the middle of the podcast, and he just talks about something he doesn't know what the fuck he's going to talk about. We just ask him about it. That's brilliant. That's going to be a segment. Do you have anything else to say? Because I kind of interrupted you.
I do, but
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
do.
get to that later.
Okay. Then
Wanting more.
keep them wanting more watch time. Ellie, what did you think of the film?
A 6 out of 10. A little bit. Honestly,
Oh, we got a rating.
IMDb right there.
I was gonna
You
do a
brought me
fucking
on to do a
spit
job.
take.
I'm doing the job.
Oh, mate.
I mean,
Should we swap seats?
well, yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah.
everyone.
Correct.
Nice. Yeah. Can't remember now. What happened?
6 out of 10.
Yeah.
I just feel like it went on for quite a long time.
Oh, I mean,
It
3
was 3
hours.
hours.
Yeah, but it felt like 3 hours.
But
it
did you
felt
really?
like a
It
properly
well,
long film.
I really needed a piss. Like throughout, from literally the first minute of the film, I was like, "Shit! I just went for a piss. Why do I need a piss? I need a piss so badly." And then was holding it in the whole entire time. I turned to you
Honestly.
about
Every 15 minutes, he was like, I still need a wait.
Well, no,
Let's go.
Still need a wee.
the first time that I turned around to you, and I was like, "I really need a wee." That was when I'd held it in for too long, and I felt my bladder was like
Right.
dying.
When
And
you
I was
jump-
like,
When you
Internet
jumped
does
up
not
from your
need to
seat,
know
it
what's
went.
happening to your bladder. Just the film.
I'm sure some of the viewers are into that.
who do you think's listening to this? We've got incest and bladder lovers, apparently, that are main listeners to the podcast.
I'm
Let's
trying to
check
get
our
you-
analytics.
I'll check the analytics. Hold
What,
on,
is
let me
that
get it
in
up.
the marketing details you get
Yeah, we get like
Your sexual
genders,
preferences.
whether you like incest and whether you're into bladders.
Lovely.
Oh, it's true, Geordie. That's who listens to the podcast.
I mean, to be
I
honest,
said I'd pick up the analytics, and I opened my
How
phone,
autistic are
and it
you?
was true, Geordie.
Right, what were you going to say?
I would disagree with what Ellie said about being too long.
Ooh.
I thought it was, whilst it was a long movie, I feel like a lot of the plot points that were both introduced as part of this movie and then brought in throughout the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe were resolved nicely.
Don't try and make this
But the
podcast
fact
serious.
that Nebula was in it so much, and she's one of the
She
least
was, yeah.
interesting characters.
Yeah. So we've all given our
Especially.
reviews. I think this is a good transition into like actual things. So yeah, Nebula was in it a lot. Like from the first from Infinity War,
She's
the
in
first
it
part.
more than 4.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
by far.
the first
Is that a
part,
bad
the
thing,
character
though?
that had the
Thor's had a
most.
few too many, like, few
Too
too
many.
many.
Of these.
Am I right? Cheers to that. There we go.
Fucking Thor mask.
So from Infinity War, the character with the most screen time, I think, was Thanos, and then Gamora, I'm pretty sure, was like second with the most screen time. So I think they went like the opposite route and just went, let's get the other daughter and just make her have the most screen time, and gave autism. It gave Nebula the most
I
screen
am
time.
Root.
Jesus.
Yeah, but she was the key plot.
Yeah, thank you for trying to keep this going, James.
She was the glue that held it together.
She
As I'm
was.
doing right now.
I think I almost.
As James is doing with the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank
James
you,
is the
James.
glue.
She was the important
God,
key of the.
at least
You can do
someone knows how to do a fucking podcast around here. Thank you, James.
Will's had two drinks in this house. Not even two. One and a.
You are goddess.
Thank you, James. Right.
Okay, so yeah, I agree that Nebula was kind of crucial to the plot, and she helped move it along. She was literally the reason that Thanos got there, so she had to be a focus. But I do also agree, who gives a shit about Nebula? Like, I don't want to watch a film that's
no one
all
really
about
cares.
Nebula. I'd like her as a character, for a side character, but I don't want the plot to be focused around her.
Main point,
Captain Marvel was
as a side character.
As a side character, main point, might I add.
Can we go-
Cheers to that, we cheers.
Can we go from
to
side character to main character? What happened with Thor? Seriously.
He basically
Right.
went from a main character to a side character.
Yeah.
They swapped.
And there was we were talking after the film. I thought there was going to be a scene where he did like a montage and he like beefed up and he got rid of his.
rock- yeah, like rock-
Yeah. Da-da-da. He's cutting his beard. Da-da-da. He gets rid of the dreadlocks. Da-da-da.
What else does he do?
He gets rid of his stomach. But that just didn't happen. And it wasn't even like a realistic.
You know when it's
For the audio people, James stuck his finger in his mouth and sucked.
This is my
And we cheers to that.
Cheers to a lot of things.
So yeah, I thought there was going to be a scene where he like did a big transformation. I obviously wasn't expecting a Rocky-like montage, because I thought that would be pretty shit. But I also thought it would be really shit if they just kept him fat for the whole entire film, and they did.
I thought when he changed back into his armor when he got his hammer back that he would go back
Yeah,
to his like,
just
it would
naturally.
Yeah.
The lightning would.
Yeah. But then he
Like-
just had it was
like
him.
Like Lipo
You
was
saw a side view,
sucking
just
in.
like a
I like that. I'm not sure that would have been
It was-
heard
it
because
was like
Liam's
a
far away.
pregnant.
Shock therapy.
Thanks, Joe. The joke's always
get
funnier
it.
the second time.
So yeah, that was like really, really bad. I like the fact that where his character's going, because I feel like he fits in with the Guardians
Oh, yeah,
aesthetic.
definitely.
Like the end of the film, that was amazing. I love his reactions with Groot, not Groot, right then,
Rocket
Raccoon,
rabbit.
in Rabbit in Infinity War. So the fact that he's going to be, I think that's confirmed. He's going to be in the third Guardians of the Galaxy
He
film.
went from such a badass character in Infinity War to just being.
A bit of
A
work,
laughing
like.
stock. He was just a joke.
Yeah.
The thing that bothers me with it is there was a lot of potential with them to build upon what happened with him at the start of the movie.
Yeah,
So-
but they didn't build on it.
Mate, he was such a serious character at the start of the movie, then they just like flicked a switch and went, now he's goofy and fat.
So
Like-
can we talk about what happens in this?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
full spoilers. Yeah,
So basically, Thanos actually dies.
Everyone clicks off. Why the fuck did you say that? I didn't want to know about that shit.
So Thor kind of.
Oh,
chops
hold on,
his-
can we pause there? Ellie found that out on the way to the cinema. She got a spoiler.
Outside the
Found out that
These
he dies.
people walking out. I don't know why I looked at you.
Wherever.
I
Anywhere.
told you this before. Was walking to the cinema and this group of people walking the other way and they were like, I can't believe Thanos died so quickly. It was just so shocked and I was like, you fucking
Ooh.
kidding? I'm sorry, swearing.
Swearing is fine.
Sorry, please.
After
don't-
see-
Are you fudging kidding me?
After seeing the movie, that isn't really something you'd say walking out. That's not like a big point
No,
because
it
you know
wasn't
that
at
he's not
all,
actually
yeah.
dead. Like, so
Yeah.
why would you say that?
But I
So
do.
cruel
It was quite
people.
shocking when Liam
Yeah.
turned to me and went, I didn't expect that.
It cut to black for so long as well. I went to Jen. Well, that was a good movie.
Yeah, said the same thing.
Paid £18.
Yeah.
£18 for a ticket.
Well, it
I
was
think
free
I,
for
th-
me.
I think Joe's having you on.
Why?
Yeah, imagine. I was like, yeah, it's like
Joe's
£24.
It's 6 for the ticket, 12 for the company.
You know what you paid for.
Oh.
We'll cheers to that. Just me? Okay.
We know. Cheers.
Have we got any more
There we
beers? We got some more beerios. These are some ales. Like I said,
literally just say beers. Oh,
it's beer 52. We're not sponsored. Stop shouting out names, brands.
Brands.
Brand Starks and
This is a
Three-Eyed
Game
Raven.
of Thrones podcast. In the minute. I'm
This
sure
is a
it will
game
be
of
in future.
Sofas. Right, has anyone got
Right,
else?
then.
Has anyone else got a decent scene that they want to talk about whilst I open this?
There was actually a very good scene during the final battle at the end where all of the female characters.
I
got
was
together.
thinking that was. I didn't like that at all.
I wasn't sure.
I was gonna talk about that
I'm not
too.
brave enough to say it.
I was going to talk about that shit!
I'm a girl, so I can't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
it's shit.
brave
Ellie.
enough to say it felt ham-fisted
Say it.
and unnecessary.
Well, in the last one, I don't know if you remember, there was a scene where there were a few girls
Hmm.
and they were fighting the female girl baddie, don't know what her name is. And then that was actually like kind of badass. And
Yeah.
then this time, there were just loads of girls walking with the boobs out in really tight outfits.
Alright, can we
with
pause there?
massive
I'm pretty sure
heels.
no one had boobs out. What do you mean?
What's the name?
They had
Wonder.
boobs,
Wonder,
not out.
Her corset is very.
I did see that.
He very loudly admits on a podcast that is being put out on the public internet.
No one's going to listen.
Aside from the private internet,
We are in.
the black market. But no, that felt pretty shoehorned in for me. It felt like it wasn't
100%,
natural at
yeah.
all.
No, it
Like if
wasn't.
it was natural, then that's awesome. But it wasn't.
Like,
I was-
I
this
swear
time.
that 5 seconds earlier, none of those characters.
They weren't anywhere near
Yeah,
each other.
on the side of the whole battle.
Yeah,
It's like,
I was literally watching that scene and thinking about us doing the podcast and me going, how am I going to bring up this scene that's full of women, that's obviously supposed to be like a yay feminism kind of thing, and talk about it negatively without it sounding like I'm like fuck
As a token
females.
female, I got your permission to
Yes,
sign off
it
the
was
scene.
shit.
It was not good.
I understand the premise of it. I thought it was a really good idea, but it just
Yeah.
it also makes you think like.
I mean, it was a good idea. They did it in
Yeah,
Infinity
yeah.
War, and it worked.
Yeah, it
Don't
did.
do it again. Why have they done it again with even like all the main female characters that were in the Infinity War scene were the best of the females in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
well, it's like
then they
that
added in
could
the
have
Wasp and the shit ones.
It could have been really cool as well if the whole, all the superheroes got together at that point and said she's got back up.
It's
All
almost
the-
like
Yeah,
they
it's
went
really
right.
cool.
Like Captain America's waiting at the side. They were like, "Sorry, this is the female-only
Oh,
scene."
like, oh,
like
this
what?
first time is shit.
Yes.
Hold on. No, you're not allowed in this one.
Yeah, you're not allowed in this
Liam.
one. I was pushing his face for the audio,
Audio
people.
Why is he not allowed in this one?
She's not.
Because he's
Captain
Captain America,
America.
and it's the female scene.
not
Obviously,
women,
as
is
females, we decide that Captain America's not allowed.
Unless he identifies as a woman today, Liam.
Today,
Yeah, he's gender fluid.
The whole
so much
internet to know.
fluid. Okay, anyone else got a decent scene that they want to talk about that stood out for them, good or bad?
Korg playing Fortnite.
That was the one.
That was the best scene.
So
That was good.
the whole like story arc of Thor's character, there was two redeeming parts. It was Guardians of the Galaxy at the end when he
Yeah.
was meeting up with them, and at the start with Korg playing Fortnite, and then Thor taking the headset and saying, "I'm the god of thunder. I will come and fly to your house if you don't stop killing
I
me."
know, Bill Gates.
Basically, he did the equivalent of that. So good.
He said,
You called me a dickhead?
That's actually a really good accent.
Yeah, I know. We did it.
terrible.
John Knight,
No,
South
fuck
East
off.
Asia.
it was.
No, it was so. Do it again, man. Do the rock paper scissors joke. 'cause
Dance
they
with
won't
me,
remember
dance.
it. Dance.
He wants you to perform.
No, do the rock paper scissors joke. It's really good.
As you can see, I'm made out of rocks. So you don't have to be afraid. Unless you're made out of scissors. Unless you're a pair of scissors.
There you go.
Said it wrong.
How you not? You've had one beer. You've literally had one beer. What are you doing?
Pretty tired, mate. It's like 1 a.m.
My name's Korg, and as you can see, I'm made of rocks. But don't worry, I won't hurt you.
That's South Africa.
What? Sorry, where are you from?
South African. He's from New Zealand. You fucker.
Jesus Christ. Alright, everyone's got to try and do a Korg impression. James!
Oh my god, that will put you off.
That was right.
What? I don't know what you said, but it sounded good.
I need subtitles.
It's the scene
He
when he...
said, oh my god.
I need subtitles.
Oh my god, the hammer pulled you off.
The hammer sucked you
Oh,
off.
pulled you off. It's the hammer scene from in Ragnarok.
Spoiler.
You know?
The hammer pulled you off.
Sucks.
He says that.
He says that. Oh my god.
I think he does, I think he does.
He
Mate.
says that, oh, the hammer can make you fly. And he goes, oh my god, the hammer pulled you off.
I feel like I would have remembered that.
Yeah, I
Clip
know.
of-
James watched a different movie to
Yeah.
us, clearly.
Oh,
James
I
watched
did like
Different
that.
website.
Rag the Cop.
Right, Liam, when you say that stuff, you have to sit forward a little bit because I feel like it's missing all of your quality
You
lines.
can just dub it. You can
Good memes.
I'll just say everything that you say.
Dub it over with
Just a bit louder.
Microsoft Sam.
Of keys.
That would involve editing.
that
I'm
the guy
already
that
not
says-
editing this.
I thought you watched Thor. Ragnarok.
Is that the guy?
Yeah, he famously says that quote.
Yeah, the Microsoft Sam is known for saying Thor Ragnarok.
But speaking of the hammer,
Speaking of cocks.
do you know how and why Captain America got to use the hammer?
Okay, so that for me, I think a lot of people would watch that scene and go, that's shit because he's just randomly picked up a hammer. For me, that was one of the best scenes in the whole entire movie.
When he fights
9
it
years
as
in the
well.
making.
So,
Why?
He's worthy.
in Avengers Ultron,
worthy.
there's a whole entire scene that you should know because we did a video based on Nando v Movies aspect, and his scene that he chooses is this scene where all the Avengers try and pick up the Thor's hammer.
And
Okay.
You obviously remember
Yeah,
this because you
what
watched
was
that video, didn't you?
No.
Oh, he also does it in the comic books as well. He picks it up in the comic books. It's worthy.
So basically, the whole entire idea of Thor's hammer is it's not just Thor can lift it up; it's anyone that's worthy can lift it up. So anyone that's pure spirited, that their intentions, there's no like negative intentions. Like most people pick up the Thor's hammer, going, "Mate, it would be A, sick to pick up Thor's hammer," or B, like I could kill lots of people with it, or something like that. They'd have like negative thoughts towards it. Captain America is just pure, so he gave it a go. And in that Age of Ultron scene, it moved a little bit, but he didn't pick it up. And you see Thor in the background go like, oh shit, like what the fuck, he's going to pick it up. But then, because Captain America doesn't really care, he stops and goes, oh, well, yeah, I can't do it.
Okay.
So then, in a moment where he needed to save Thor, he, without thinking, went to pick up the hammer, and his intentions were completely pure, and he's pure of heart, so the Thor,
Okay.
the hammer was like,
I guess
am
that's
worthy.
quite cool then, but for someone who doesn't remember that at all, it's like...
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes that were a bit like
You had to-
thrown out there that you had to know a lot of details. They did it really well in Infinity War. There wasn't any
You're
scenes.
literally just getting louder and louder. Do you have like a volume control?
Usually, I have a volume control on the literal podcast that I just
Okay.
turn myself down
I
on.
will be your
But
volume control.
Thank you. So, basically, Mum and Dad come downstairs like, what the fuck are you doing?
I feel like they must just get used
Guest
to like, you
stars.
being the son.
Joe,
Shut up.
be quiet, Joe, you're interrupting Thor Ragnarok.
Right then. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah.
About the hammer.
In Infinity War, they did really well with mixing an actual storyline that people that haven't seen any of the films understand, along with Easter eggs that fans would understand.
Yeah.
They didn't make any of the Easter eggs plot points. Captain America picking up Thor's hammer, it was a major plot point in this film, and they just brushed over that like, yeah, everyone knows why he's doing that.
Yeah, but Thor, and then Thor is on the floor. He goes,
I knew it! Which makes sense. It's a good callback if you've seen that movie, and if
Yeah.
you remember that scene. If you don't,
Well, I've
you're like,
seen
what the
it.
fuck's going
I
on?
can't remember
It's like,
it.
exactly.
Which one you said about the Spider-Man thing? Like, kill
I was going to move
Oh,
on to that, yeah. So, in the middle of the fight, Spider-Man just goes, kill mode activated, as though everyone
Instant
watching would... Yeah, instant
Instant
kill.
kill.
As though everyone watching would know that that's a normal thing
It
in
makes you think,
Spider-Man
what was he doing
Homecoming.
before if he wasn't trying to instant kill people?
He
Why
was
would
just
you-
going,
Yeah.
Yeah, pew, 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 pew.
stun.
He's
There's-
not the murderous neighbourhood Spider-Man, is he?
That's like his alter ego. There was a lot. So Marvel have recently said that they're going to start doing. I think the camera stopped. What was I saying? What was anyone saying?
Spider-Man insta-kill.
Yeah, he
What about
kills
that?
lots of people. I don't really know.
We were talking about the fact Tom Holland didn't do his lines opposite anybody because he keeps giving spoilers away, so he just had to do it to like a blank person.
Yes, you mentioned that to me, and then I didn't know that, and I've mentioned it on the
Fountain
podcast.
of all
That
knowledge.
is cool.
Yeah.
So, because he's so bad at giving spoilers away, it's not like now when we're talking, he wouldn't have anyone there that just film him saying lines and then film the other person's reactions because they didn't want him to know who he was talking to because he'd
Oh,
accidentally say in an interview,
Right.
I was going to
Seems
see with this person.
like a real big problem.
Yeah.
Well, there was. I
Yeah.
thought about that. You saying that, and then the scene where spoilers, Tony Stark dies, and he's like, "Mr. Stark, Mr. Stark."
Yeah.
Did that just have black line in his script?
I
Like,
don't know. Yeah, I don't
but
know.
which to me it kind of reflected it. They didn't have much chance to prepare for the scene because I think Tom Holland's an amazing actor, but it didn't seem that realistic.
They didn't give him a script. He wasn't allowed to have a script.
Yeah, it didn't seem realistic when he was like Mr. Stark.
Yeah.
They just saw his face and it looked like fake crying. It didn't even look like real cry. I don't know.
I thought it was really funny as well. Like,
Well, get this. Robert Downey Jr. didn't actually die. It's all fake, Joe.
Really? I think that's called acting, Liam.
I think it's really funny that
Thank you
his
for
wife
saving
just
it.
sort of
just take it back to
pulls him away as well. Like he's trying to say goodbye to.
and
his wife's
she's just like-
it's my turn.
It's my turn.
My husband that trumps you.
Yeah, which is I understand from like a story point of view why Pepper Potts was there with Tony Stark, but I hope I wasn't the only person that was like, can Captain America just make sure he's all right? Like I just wanted Captain America to go over
Say
and
final goodbye.
yeah, exactly. Rather than just standing from a distance crying with Thor. Like I don't care about Pepper Potts. I want to see them
Who's
make
watching
her cry.
the kid?
Who's watching the kid?
She's
watching
going
the
down.
kid, that's
She's
true.
happy.
She's with
Call Childline, someone, please.
There was
about
This is
children.
going to meet PG.
Joe, children now.
children in general.
Children
now.
these days.
So Captain America
Yeah.
goes back in time, doesn't he? At the end, and then he.
Oh, are we getting into the incest? No, we gotta save the incest.
he wants
Save,
incest.
no, save the incest to the end. You
Oh,
gotta keep
watch
watching
time,
if you want to
watch
see the
time.
incest.
Incest.
You'll not see any incest.
You don't know who I've got behind that door, Liam.
It's just.
So moving on.
You know that contract that you had to sign before you got in here?
That waiver. I agree to.
I feel like there's a line and we're very close.
No, we've crossed that. I just
That.
crossed that.
Tony Stark's death. So I work in a job that's on social media. For the past 2 days,
Humble brag.
I've been trying to stay away from any kind of spoilers.
He's got the brag.
No, it has a
No.
point.
My
has a-
Instagram is this, Twitter's this. Follow me. Hashtag-
It
Follow
has a
Unilag
point.
at.
It has a point because obviously you're going to see spoilers on
Re,
social
I'm
media.
triggered. Re.
But I didn't see any, which is good, so I was happy about that. But with Tony Stark's death, I thought it was really. I thought. Get off your fucking phone!
Liam's on his phone for the audio people.
Just on
Anyway,
For the audio people, sorry, Will. This is clearly really crucial.
okay, so for the audio people who are actually
I didn't
listening
know
to me,
people still
Liam,
use Snapchat.
that's a good point.
We established before the podcast.
No, we've just
This is
moved
being
on
made.
from what Will's saying. We're talking about Snapchat
God.
with Liam now. Welcome to this segment of the podcast, Snapchat with Liam. So, Liam, what have you got to say?
Well,
Read.
Snapchat has
died
really
in
gone downhill.
2017,
It did,
yeah.
it did. They removed
can we
the
just-
ability to
Can we
swap
just finish
faces.
Will's part before he dies?
Yes.
No, this is so good.
I can see his veins popping in his head.
So,
Oh, that's
so
good,
your
isn't it,
social
mate?
media.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Oh, Will, no, it's a good
Tangent,
meme.
Go on, go on.
So I managed to stay away from all spoilers, which I was happy about. I was being prepared to get blown away by the movie, and I've heard people saying it's a perfect movie, it's
So have I,
amazing,
yeah.
Not
it's like,
perfect, yeah.
no. And with Tony Stark's death, I predicted it a mile off. It was so obvious.
Yeah.
When they gave him the reunion with his dad, and then when he hugged Spider-Man, and when Doctor Strange said, I could tell you what's going to happen,
But
but
yeah,
if I
yeah.
tell you it won't happen, you're going to have to sacrifice yourself. It was obvious. When he died, I didn't feel anything, apart from like the cyclical way that he started this section of Marvel, and he's dead,
And
so
when he
he's
said
ended
to
it.
Pepper,
That's
he
the
was
only
like,
good thing.
if I am coming back at the end of this, I'm not sacrificing what I have now. I was like, it's like in the last one where Doctor Strange was like, oh, if it's between you and the Time Stone, it's you, mate. It's like, you're lying.
You,
You're
mate.
lying to all of us. We know what you're doing here. You're messing with our minds.
No.
Well, I thought that I agree. I mean, I literally predicted everything that happened at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Like in the Who Be Deaded video that we
People be
did,
deaded.
People Be Deaded, I said that Captain America wouldn't die, but he'd pass the mantle on to someone else because of what Captain America did, and Captain America would die, and that spoilers, Black Widow would die. I literally predicted those three things. As they were happening, I was
I
like,
forgot that she died. That's how much of an impact it had.
but so I think Infinity War spoilt deaths for us because we watched Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange die.
When Gamora died in the last one.
Yeah,
It's like,
Gamora
that
was a big
deep,
impact
yeah.
because it almost felt like it was a real death.
Maybe. Yeah.
Whereas when the other characters got snapped, instantly by that point you're like, oh well, I know he's got a movie. I know he's got a movie. I know he's got a movie. They must. I mean, I'm assuming they come back. They're not going to get Spider-Man for one movie and then throw him away from like this point onwards.
Plus,
So
Tom Holland said there were going to be 3 movies.
He did,
yeah, because he's a fucking idiot.
Aren't they doing a Black Widow movie as well?
We were
Yeah.
saying this is it an Origins one?
So
or-
they've touched on Black Widow's origin in
Okay.
Avengers Ultron. So I think they're going to
So like a
flesh that
prequel
out.
thing.
Yeah, but I think they ruined deaths for us with that scene. So in this movie, I was watching Iron Man die and thinking of lots of ways that he would be brought back to life. And they've established there are multiple timelines, multiple realities with multiple different things.
Yeah.
Just get Iron Man from a different reality. Like, if they're able to do it, which they're clearly... Iron Man does it from a thing that's in the back of a truck. Like, he's clearly able to do it and figure out what's going on.
That's why Black Widow's death didn't impact me, because I was like, oh, they just
They'll bring it back
later
somehow.
on.
I know she's got a movie. So, like,
Yeah.
I think that's definitely... It's something that's almost unavoidable with all these MCU movies because they need to...
They need like a bigger baddie and a bigger hero.
It's a cash cow. Like, they need to make sure they have stakes, but also they keep you coming.
Yeah.
Right then.
How do they have the steaks cooked?
Well, clearly.
I thought you were going to make a joke about the coming there.
Yeah.
Underwhelmed then.
Keep you guessing.
Sorry.
Well, based on the average reviews for this, I guess not very well done.
Hey! That's the end of the podcast. See you later.
On
It can't be the end because we didn't get to the fucking insult.
on Rotten Tomatoes,
Liam, the only reason he's here is just to wait for the incest. It's like, as soon as we mention the incest, you can be like, right, so I've got lots of points for this.
it was cool how when Tony Stark died, though, Spider-Man came to comfort him, so it was like the opposite way around.
Yeah.
I thought that was quite cool.
I wanted him to say, what does that say? I've completely forgotten. What does he say in Infinity War?
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
Oh no, it wouldn't have worked that way.
So Tony's like, Spider-Man, I don't feel so good. He's like basically dead.
No shit, because like the whole half of his body's been like blown to fuck.
Yeah. I was a bit... There was a
very
lot
quiet.
of points that were like the fact that Hulk struggled with the Infinity Stones, but Iron Man, just a man, yeah, he was all right. He was able to do what like a version of what Hulk did. I know he died, but it looked like it affected Hulk like a lot more physically than it affected Iron Man. I don't know. Maybe that's. But there was lots of.
I was going to say, you've revealed
Bits
your
like
true
that.
identity.
Oh, it's Liam!
Oh,
no! For the audio podcast, Liam took his mask off. It's not Captain Avenger. It's
It's like Father
Iron
Christmas
Man.
all over again. Oh.
Like what? Like Father Christmas?
Your words, not mine.
No, your words. Father Christmas. What?
This is
Oh,
Father
whatever.
Christmas.
No, I said highly disappointing. Didn't
And I
realise.
said no.
So what? Has Father Christmas revealed his identity to you?
Well,
Obviously.
spoiler, Father Christmas isn't real. I don't
What? What?
I know.
This isn't a Father Christmas spoilers podcast. What
I'm
are you
hoping
doing?
people will be of age if we're talking about incest and whatever.
Yeah, especially
to be
the
able
incest.
to cope with the fact that Father Christmas is not real. Sorry, kids.
Did you know that, unfortunately, after the film came out, J.K. Rowling decided that all the characters were gay, and
Wait,
that
what?
Iron Man fucked Thanos, and J.K. Rowling watched, and she was a cuck.
They're all cucks.
I don't.
I have no
I don't have
idea.
a drink.
No.
Is this Tourette's or
Is this?
Possibly. Possibly. Can we say that?
I don't know. Can you edit that out, please? That's probably not great.
There's no
It's
editing.
probably not a very nice thing to say.
What is that,
Probably.
Tourette's?
You can dub though.
I think-
Still,
You can dab.
We can tab though.
that's something
Oh,
that the audio listeners won't get.
I don't think he actually intended to
No,
dab.
he said it, didn't he?
He says
goes,
dab.
Dab.
He said
Yeah,
dab.
yeah.
No.
He said dab, yeah.
Wait.
I hated that scene when he's a celebrity. I actually
Yeah, that
hated
was bad.
scene.
Yeah, it was when he got a picture with the kids. And dab.
I also predicted Professor
Professor
Hulk,
Hulk, you did.
but that was like almost given because it was a toy of it. But what really messed with my brain was the fact that there was a big build-up from every single fan that was like, I can't wait for Professor Hulk that's seen like the comics. Do any of you guys know about Professor Hulk before
Only a
this
little
film.
bit, not really.
I only did from you telling me.
So it's like a thing in the comics, and people have been waiting because Hulk's story arc from Thor Ragnarok and all these films are seeming like he's fighting with the Hulk. At some point, he's going to come to peace with the Hulk, and it's going to be a really big moment when he realizes he can have the best of both worlds. And they just go 5 years later, skip past it, and he's like,
he's
"Yep,
just there.
I'm now Professor Hulk." Like,
I shot gamma radiation at myself for 18 months.
yeah, well,
That's it.
right there. It just doesn't. I don't know. It didn't pay off for me at all. I was really annoyed about it.
So because all we've said so far is the negative stuff,
There you go.
voice is breaking, and so my review of 6 out of 10 actually seems quite accurate. Because the
Well,
more we've gone on, the more you've been like, that was
Actually,
shit, that was shit.
I
that
just-
was- yeah.
Yeah, but the battle scene, that was just...
But that
Captain
was like 20
America,
minutes
Thor,
of
and
the-
Iron Man versus Thanos. That little battle, well, it was quite a big battle that they had, but it lasted for like 5 minutes or so. That was pretty cool.
That was that. So there were, for me, watching it, it felt like the best movie in the world because there was just so many payoffs for a Marvel fan. But knowing that most people don't watch a film as a Marvel fan, they'll watch a film as a film.
Yeah.
From like a film review standpoint, which is definitely not the professional level that we we take on this podcast, but
A
still,
little unfair, but okay.
but we, speaking of the people that do it, not you guys, you
I'm
were.
submitting this to IMDb.
I think as a film level, there wasn't really much there. I think Infinity War was a really good film, regardless of the Marvel things. I think this wasn't that good of a film.
So, would you say you liked Infinity War better than Endgame?
I did.
I still preferred Endgame.
I think Endgame
Really?
worked really well because it was building up to something, and you could imagine whatever the fuck you wanted for that build-up to be. So I think the payoff is never going to be as good as the build-up.
But this was like the first Star Wars back. Everyone wanted like, I don't know what's wrong, I feel like I'm going through puberty.
Again.
We've
Yeah,
all been
yeah.
there.
I mean, hopefully.
Have we, Liam?
Have we? You were wearing a Captain America mask.
Give it back, go give it back to them.
He just takes it. He's shaking his head for the audio people.
I think you can probably assume.
You can probably assume he's cowering in the corner.
Oh, he's taking his trousers off for the audio.
Oh, he's got a tiny penis for the audio people.
If you want to see
Oh,
it,
I did not
just-
sign up for this.
go and watch the
just,
video podcast.
just yeah, for the people that are just listening, you really need to watch the video
Right.
version.
Also, there's still
You don't,
incest coming up.
everyone's got the trousers on, it's all fine.
Also, side note, Liam puts a coat on when he goes for a piss.
For comfort or
I mean, you can answer that, Liam.
For
Well,
safety.
I don't want to hold
For
it.
It's not a
safety.
stab vest.
I don't want to hold it.
You don't want to hold it.
What, you're
I'm
not
not going to
avoiding
be stood at the urinal with my coat under one arm and my hand in my
And my hand under the other arm. What? Which hand's holding your dick?
Do you need 2 hands?
You don't need what?
Stop it!
Don't need to.
You don't need it. Not on my urinal.
Just let it wave about a little bit.
How? Which hand gets your dick out? Sorry, Ellie.
Sorry, Ellie.
You got one hand holding your coat, one hand under your arm.
I've never thought about it. It kind of just happens.
You black out, and all of a sudden you.
He wakes up and he's like, oh, got my coat on.
I must be having a piss. Oh dear.
This is taking a turn.
Yeah.
Back to the
Should we
film.
go back to Endgame?
What do you think of the time travelling sequences?
Oh, thank you, James. Someone knows how to do
You
it.
should be
A
the perfect
podcast?
host of it.
James, can I?
Can I have just a question board?
I was going to say, James, can I do a podcast with you? But
That's
I
odd.
think it should be
Well,
James.
you're being replaced.
No, it should be James. Can you replace me? Definitely. You're definitely not as loud.
At least then the viewers won't have to like alter the volume.
Oh, they watch when I'm about to speak. And
And
all
they're
right,
like,
turn
"Turn
that
down."
down. Oh. To be fair, the last couple of podcasts, I've had to turn Will's audio down at multiple times because he screams into the mic. He doesn't. At least I
Just trying
understand.
to talk over you.
No,
play the poor
I
guy.
understand that I'm loud. So if I'm loud, when the microphones are like this, it doesn't make any sense. But usually they're here, so
Yeah,
I will in front of my mouth for the audio people.
Can we just
So
Can we go back to the question?
No, it's my podcast. I'll talk about whatever the
Is that
fuck I
chocolate
want.
stout?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, it
Is that chocolate?
What is that?
is. Chocolate stout.
Joy Shine
Oh,
chocolate
that sounds
stout.
vile.
First reactions. All right, we interrupt this Endgame podcast to see
don't
Ellie's first
think
reaction
We
to
Stout.
interrupt
chocolate.
our interruption of the Endgame podcast.
Guinness is stout, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a type of stout. Not all stout is Guinness.
Or is it?
Go on.
I think she-
Oh, she's smelling. It's a bad reaction for the audio podcast. Taste. Oh,
no.
she's doing weird mouth.
Tastes like ashtrays.
movements.
You know the smell of ashtrays.
What's his tooth?
I don't disagree.
Right, for the audio
Oh,
people,
that's-
someone describe this photo.
What is it?
Our friend with a big head has sent me a picture with a chipped tooth saying you should have seen the other guy.
Have a look.
I didn't even know this is tooth. Is that Dan?
Yeah.
Is that Bancroft?
Yeah.
Mate, what the fuck? Ellie has no idea. Very sorry, Ellie.
Joe, what's the podcast rules
Who
on
is he?
toilet breaks?
A friend that
just
went to our
fucking
school.
wait, mate. Or not. Okay.
So for the audio viewers,
Liam's gone.
Liam's gonna put his
So no
coat
one's
on.
gonna notice.
Go put your coat on, Liam.
Amazing.
You can sit on the box of shame from now on.
Hey.
it's not a box of shame, it's a... I'll think of a good name for it.
Got the length of a pea.
No one's gonna hear you over there, Liam.
Better be good, Liam.
Put your coat on. Hey, I'll just reuse a meme that someone else said.
Me.
Me. So, let's go back to what
Time
James
travel.
said. Time travel, all the time travel scenes where it went to all the different years where the big events happened with the Infinity Stones. Very quickly, opinions on those scenes. James?
I really like them actually. I thought some of them were better than others. So the scene when they go back to 2012, the attack on New York, I thought that was pretty cool. But I didn't like the lift scene. I thought it was going to be.
I was so
Yeah.
so.
I thought it was going to happen again.
Mate,
Yeah.
we literally did a video on our favourite Marvel scenes. We had basically a recreation of the Korg scene that you
Pretty
talked
much,
about,
yeah.
and a recreation of the lift scene that I talked
What's
about.
the cork?
But like shit versions of
Just
them.
in Ragnarok where he's being
You know
called.
the scissors joke that he made then.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
his
yeah.
favourite
That's my
scene in
favourite
every
scene.
single Marvel movie ever. That was the scene he chose. It's
No, it
fucking
wasn't.
fun.
There was others that were chosen.
Yeah,
Right.
so we were choosing
Yeah.
from a playlist, and there were other people that had chosen different videos, different scenes, and they chose
I was
going to
choose the soppy one when Captain America found Peggy again, because I'm soppy. But then that was taken, so I chose the meme instead.
So surely you liked, we're varying, you know what kind of podcast this is.
I did like the last bit with
Yeah,
Captain
you must have
America.
liked that last
That was
bit.
probably my favourite part of the film.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a really nice payoff.
Beautiful.
Maybe
Well,
it's just
well,
a
no,
shit film.
wait, because that involves the incest. We can't talk about the incest, especially not without Liam. So let's wait for the incest. This is such a fucking bad.
What about
podcast.
Captain Marvel?
Oh no, but Captain America v Captain America, that was a 6.
Yes, we
That
need to
was
keep
good,
on going
that
with
was
the
good.
back in time
was really
chunks. 'cause
cool.
It's really good.
I thought you just said the wrong thing then, but I was like,
Captain
actually,
America
yeah,
versus Captain
that did
America.
happen.
I loved the fact that because obviously Captain America at those times, I mean, still now is like so obsessed with everything being right and everything being by the books, and I love the fact that the old Captain America was like, you must be Loki.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
He
it's
realises how much of an idiot he is. I was like, right, well, there's no way I can convince this person that I am me, so I've got to fight me. Like, that was the only thing.
I was
he
really
did.
was a
hoping
cool
they'd
scene.
do the same attack at one turn. So like they both punch at the same time, like punch. The
Yeah, well,
shield,
they did. They both,
did.
the first thing they
They
did,
went through the
they
shield.
threw the
Yeah,
shield,
yeah.
and they both hit at exactly the same point and went off at exactly the same angle. Which, how did he get his shield back? Did he get his shield back? I swear he had a shield at some point. Where'd that come
You
from?
don't have to sit on the
Because he
box
threw
of
it down
shields.
the thing and they
box
both
of
fell.
rocks.
The box that
Where'd the
rocks,
shield
there
come
we
from?
go.
I don't know, but
Liam's back for the audio people.
And he's on the box that rocks.
The
not
box
the box of shame.
that rocks.
Jesus, it's really, you don't need to shout when you're that
Christ.
close. I mean, saying me.
To be
Yeah, I
fair,
was gonna
you were
say,
probably
surely-
louder than he was.
Fuck
He's
off.
too good at
You
that.
are right, but fuck
Oh,
off.
I am visible.
So, what did you guys...
I am invisible.
I said
Visible! You are. Can see a
Oh,
picture.
I am invisible.
Will is trying to speak, people.
What did you guys think?
It's only his own podcast. Thank you,
I thought
James.
he was a guest.
What did you guys think of
Oh my god. Sorry.
Captain
Alright.
Marvel.
What do you guys think of Captain Marvel
We
in
talked
this
about
movie?
Captain Marvel
Waste
before, and I
of
thought
time.
she was such a wet wipe in the last one.
Yeah.
So, Jen,
And in this one, she was still
in
a
the
wet
film.
wipe.
Oh, in
Yeah.
her
So
own
in
film.
Captain America, the. Alright then.
You
Captain
can't get
America,
that
the.
right, can you?
Captain Marvel, the film.
Captain Marvel, I thought that she just wasn't
don't
very
think
good.
she couldn't
I
work.
thought she was the worst
Well.
part of her own film.
Yeah.
Everyone else was great in that film. I
I
thought
quite
the story
She
was
was
pretty
raw,
good.
was really
Yeah, I thought
good in
Yeah.
that film.
Honestly.
Apparently, she filmed Endgame before she
yeah, she
filmed
did.
Yeah.
She did.
Marvel,
I mean, to be fair, she filmed Endgame before Captain Marvel. So what? She filmed a
couple of
CGI
scenes,
version of
yeah.
her flying through a ship. That's basically all she did. Like it was
She
so.
had a haircut that
she
made all
gave
the
some
difference.
sass.
What I was paying attention to, which I was at some point. Hopefully, I talked loud enough over that. At some point,
Was there, wasn't
that's
it?
not what I was going to say.
What?
That'll be the first edit.
Oh, really?
Oh,
That is
That-
disgusting.
That
is
will be the
fucking
first
vile.
edit.
Not all the inserts.
Nothing else. That's the first edit.
You're
Speaking
gonna take me out
of,
swearing as well.
are
me
we
saying
going to
everything
talk
vile.
about...
Just
I
like-
don't want
just
to
like
call
after
it the
you
incest
burping.
scene. Let's
My
call
mum will
it
kill
the
me.
confusing relationship dynamic of Steve Rogers.
It's a good way to put it. Do a jingle.
He's got to create a jingle. He's gone from no editing to creating a jingle.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
That's the sort of things 5-star podcasts do, Joe.
Well, you do it then.
Alright. Alright, I'll do
Up
it.
to the jingle.
Anyway, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so Captain Marvel was shit.
Why did she have a haircut?
What really annoyed me was throughout the whole entire of.
It's like you're not going to address my why she had a haircut. You're just going to steam
Maybe
having your own
she's-
point.
maybe she-
Anyone else have a point?
I'll give you a good answer.
Ellie comes up with a point. So, what did everyone else think about this?
Legit, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Joe's parents are asleep.
Not actually how loud I am, though.
pretty much.
Mate, you are so
I don't know what
triggered.
the arms were, but they were how I imagined Joe speaking.
That's like to add volume. You just stick the arms
Absolutely,
out.
yeah.
I'll
Will
give you
stuck
a-
his
I'll give you
arms
an
out for the audio
answer.
people.
Anyway.
I'll give you your answer which
Shush,
won't make any
Chun.
sense.
Did you say shush, Chun?
Just Joe.
Oh my god.
Mine's going to be rubbish now.
It's
but-
alright. Appreciate the effort.
So she's meant to be the strongest Avenger.
Yeah.
So you know how this is a bit going to go biblical
Listen
now.
to the answer.
Oh my God.
You know Samson out of the Bible. Who really
Yes.
long hair.
Sansa out of the Bible.
Samson! S-A-N! S-O-N!
You know Sansa, that character in Game of Thrones? Yeah, she's in the Bible.
You know he has long
He
hair.
has his hair cut
He gets
off.
haircut,
Yeah.
loses most powers. Maybe she wanted to weaken herself to
Jesus
be
in
an
a
easier battle.
cave, and all the
There you go. There's a rubbish
disciples.
answer.
At least you made an answer.
She didn't.
The thing is,
She
that
didn't add anything.
She was
Shouldn't
on different planets.
really
the whole-
weird.
What was she doing on those planets? Because she's not like she can heal people. She just blows things up. So
Everyone
why-
else
why
is
she
already
going-
dead.
Yeah. So what's she
Is it
doing
nice?
on those?
What has she been doing this whole entire time?
Pew, 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 pew.
So one of the things that I thought was really, really stupid was throughout the whole entire of like
Oh,
Captain Marvel being released, they were talking about how in Justice League, you know, Superman. Has anyone seen Justice League here?
Yeah. Awful film.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah,
I'm not.
no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I watched Wonder Woman and after that I was like, I can't do any more.
So at the end of
Okay.
spoilers, at the end of Justice League, Superman just comes in and beats the bad guy. He's not been in the whole entire film. He just comes in out of nowhere, beats the bad guy. Everyone was really worried that they introduced Captain Marvel in her film to be that version of like Superman to just come in and beat the bad guy. And I was like, no, Marvel aren't stupid. They won't do that. And they did. They literally did
Well,
that.
if you make a hero that's like
did
more
Pop
powerful than any hero who's ever come before, and she
That's
apparently
America's
can do
arse
anything,
right there.
then you know the villains are just not powerful enough in comparison.
Exactly.
Yes,
That's,
Like-
why,
So she
that's
could-
why I don't like DC, because the DC
Yeah.
films all have just like ridiculously strong.
Well, that's-
superheroes,
that's
and all
what
they do
they've
is
done
punch
with
each
this.
other, and that's it. And it's literally like the whole battle scene with like whatever the guy porn person in
Steppenwolf.
Oh yeah, Justice League
Which
was
is a
awful,
massive
mate.
punch.
As in Born to be Wild, Steppenwolf.
Yes.
Yes.
Bear Grylls.
Yes, the snap. Has anyone got a scene that they want to talk about that we haven't
Liam
already?
said that's America's ass, and I thought it was
You
a
know
very
we still
funny
haven't
moment.
talked about the incest.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
we're
at
getting
the
on
end.
to the
Hey,
incest.
calm
I
down.
thought that was what you were talking about with the scenes that
we'd like to see.
You're so upset, Liam. Sorry.
We'll get to it. We'll get to
Is
it.
this
Don't worry.
someone's posh art?
It wasn't
You
even
can
my
have that,
idea
fine.
at first.
Yes, please.
It didn't bother me in the slightest.
where's
It was
my-
you guys that talked about it coming out of the cinema.
So what? The incest didn't bother you? That's not like a defined. That's not like a good thing that you should admit.
You need to put Shaw down. The incest should bother you.
Liam's
I'm
written
sorry I
review.
brought it
I know.
The incest doesn't bother me.
Tisn't.
It isn't.
No, so I think the Captain America's arse scene was pretty decent. Like the fact that they did a callback in the own
Yeah,
movie,
callback meme.
and then Captain America looks at his own arse, like his previous arse. It was
Previous. It's the same one.
I mean,
It's a couple of years later.
yeah, his previous
Yeah.
arse.
It's not had implants like Kim K.
Yeah, true. I mean, you don't know. You don't know what he's done.
That's true.
Was that all you wanted to say about?
You know, going
Yeah,
back
it's funny,
to
wasn't it?
local
Not much
tops
else
and
to
stuff,
say.
Do you find like the stereotype is that obviously more boys watch those superhero films than girls? Does that
Yeah.
is that something? Not a pervy question, but is that something you like to see in your superhero films, or you just
I
like
don't
take it
really
or
care.
leave it?
I think Marvel have been really good with not doing that. Like in the comics, they literally went. Lots of nerdy
Yeah, I
teenage guys are gonna watch these or gonna want to buy the comics because we've got busty women in them. So let's put busty women in the comics.
The worst one they did was in the X-Men film, wasn't it? With the girl has that special sword thing. Yeah, the one in the really bad
sword
film, the
thing.
most recent
Crazy.
X-Men film. It's like the 4 Horsemen of Death or whatever.
Oh
it is.
yeah, I know
She's
who
got
you
that
mean.
really tight.
Yeah,
That
you
was
know
the worst
she
one by far.
she took
Olivia
Newton-John.
Nunn,
I think Munn.
whatever.
Olivia
I know
Newton-John.
her.
Olivia
John
Newton-John. Yes,
Slightly
Grease.
wrong,
That's the
I
film
don't
we're
think it's-
talking
yeah,
about.
it's necessary
Grease.
at all, is it?
No,
Like, you don't
no,
need
not
it.
at all.
Like, it's the guys that have
Mate.
sex costumes, so it's not really
No.
necessary.
I can't remember what. Sandy. She was the best villain of DC.
Right there. James makes a relatively intellectual point.
I was making a deep and meaningful point there, and you
Sandy.
just took a dump all over it.
Yeah, but Sandy's the best DC villain. That's what you want to hear in an Endgame podcast, isn't it?
Let's keep it to Marvel.
That's what I'd want to hear.
Right, I feel like we're on to the last couple of things, so we need to talk about the incest scene. Hey! Oh, why are you disappointed about the incest
So
scene?
I wanted to
Liam?
do a drum roll.
Right, do a drum roll.
We're going to talk about
The incest.
I thought you were going to say it, Liam.
no.
Right,
Insert
so
jingle here.
Liam is going to lead this section. We're talking about the incest scene. Liam,
I still
what do you
don't
want to say?
understand what it actually is. But
So as I understand it, at the end of the
mean, he's
movie,
stealing
Captain
the whole
America
thing.
basically
But
goes
whatever.
back in time to bang Grandma Peggy Carter. But it's a
Wait, hold on.
I'm not sure
No,
they
so
just
yeah.
banged.
First of all, Grandma Peggy Carter. I think you've got that a bit mixed up. He's not Captain America's grandma. He's not fucking his grandma.
I am aware of this.
Right, so what's Grandma Peggy Carter? Where's that
She's
come
old
from?
in the present, isn't she?
Yeah, but she's not
Well, she's
in
not
the time
in the
period he
She's
goes
dead.
in.
Dead in the present,
So
mate.
he-
No, that's it's a completely different
Yeah.
kind of thing.
this,
Can we
Stay
let James...
tuned for the
Can
necrophilia.
I just state this podcast does not support or condone necrophilia.
Thanks, Liam. We needed that save.
Okay.
We needed that save.
Ellie nearly
my
spilled her
lungs.
drink for the audio people.
Right.
I'm gonna need like a lung pump
This
if that's
this was
the thing.
something that James said at first, so go on, James.
Okay, so in the end of the film, Captain America goes back in time with the gems to put them back in the right places.
He does.
And Tony Stark gives him advice, doesn't he, to have an actual life. So he takes that advice and goes off with Peggy. But then I thought in one of the films, I think is it Winter Soldier or one of them, he kisses, I don't know what, is it
Winter Soldier, yeah.
Is it
He,
his niece?
he kisses, so he thinks it's just a random SHIELD agent that's sent to look after him, and it turns out that, I think you're right, that it's his niece, or someone Googled it, I
his
think it was granddaughter.
granddaughter.
What?
So
Sharon Carter.
Yeah, Sharon Carter.
So technically,
he's been getting off with his
that's his
granddaughter.
own granddaughter.
And
It was only a kiss, and it's not his own granddaughter.
No, because when he went back in time. Well, actually, no, because we
It is an
were
ultimate-
talking
So
about.
actually, surely he went back in time, got married to Peggy Carter. So the granddaughter that Sharon Carter would have been, presuming that Peggy Carter got with another man.
Maybe
That's
she
what
wouldn't
I'm
exist.
saying.
Right.
She broke
that
up her
granddaughter
marriage.
wouldn't exist anymore.
Maybe.
Yeah, so
But incest.
but it happened,
It's not incest.
but no, but it happened before.
let's not get too deep. But incest. There is definitely, I mean, I wouldn't say definitely
It's a bit
incest,
dodgy.
but the kiss. Ooh, the kiss. Someone's going through
puberty as
puberty.
God, it must be something in the air. Both going through it.
Puberty must be in the air.
It's in the water.
It's in the water. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong about the kiss in Winter Soldier, but I don't think they can really like rectify that. So I think they went, we're just going to go full
Ignore it.
pedal to the
Ignore it,
metal,
yeah.
just make him fall in love with Peggy at the end. Which, to be fair, I thought was a really
It was a
fitting
nice-
Yeah.
end to the.
Ending to his character.
Yeah,
Can we do a one-word Endgame review?
good. That's literally what I was about to say.
Would you like
So,
to start?
yeah, I think you should start. So we're gonna go around in a circle, I guess. You can't really call it a circle, and say
Okay.
one word.
Endgame.
Was. Full stop.
Endgame was.
He's an adjective.
Was.
It sure
Very.
was.
He just
Almost.
bounced the bullet. Very almost.
Very almost.
Very nearly.
Wait.
Perfect.
Ooh.
Oof. And that's it. Full stop. Endgame was very nearly perfect. Oof.
Oof.
Full stop.
Disagree.
Disagree.
Full stop.
This is the same review. This person writes, it was very nearly perfect. Oof.
Okay,
Disagree.
Disagree. Steve.
Rogers.
Likes.
It says. And we completed it.
I knew exactly what I was doing.
Should we do that one more time?
No,
I think just leave it.
Yeah, I
there.
think that was a good way to end it. I just wanted to check if anyone else has anything else to say.
I think I've said too much.
Thank you for watching First Reactions Podcast.
Yeah, make sure to
Not the only 5-star.
the only 5-star
That's not true.
and don't check any other podcasts. We're the only one. All the others will have not 5 stars. It might say 5 stars, but in small print it will say not. So yeah, thank you very much for watching or listening. If you've got this far, how? But also, thank you very much. Make sure to check out all of our other podcasts that are definitely, probably better than this. Being here,
You're the highest caliber of guests you've ever had.
yeah, I genuinely
Not as
think
hectic.
I think we have ruined it more than
Yeah,
you guys.
definitely.
You got triggered as
We were
fuck, and I'm just
serious.
loud
Yeah,
as shit.
keep it on track.
If I had a cut of my moments in this podcast,
It would be awful.
it'd be so bad.
Also, Liam's back on fucking Snapchat.
Am I fuck? I'm looking at Mr. Will Thor's Instagram.
Shout out.
Oh yeah.
Who's Will? Is that your surname?
That's me. Yeah.
Surname.
My surname is Will. I am called Will.
Mr. Will 4. Is that your
His name
surname?
is Thor.
His surname is
Sounds
Mr.
very
Will.
similar to
I thought
Thor,
it said Will
but you can
first.
tell it's not.
What's
because
his
he's not
full
fat.
name? Will, Mr. Will. Okay, we should definitely stop being loud. My parents are definitely awake. Should we do the outro?
What do we do for an outro?
That's it!
Just cut.
Oh, mate.
And then that bleep you have at the end of news programmes and radio programmes.
I need a week.
We don't do that on smooth radio.
Liam, have you got a coat?
Yeah. Somewhere. It's down there, yeah. I get it. I get it now.